If a restroom only accommodates one human at a time, why would it be men's or women's? Just make them open to anyone. There's something that happens when single-stall bathrooms are unisex that doesn't seem to happen when they are gendered. Those bathrooms are always the grossest bathrooms for some reason. I don't know if they just don't clean them as often or if people just decide to lose all decency and become their grossest selves, or what. To single-stall bathrooms, one for men, one for women. Decently clean. 1 to unisex single-stall bathrooms. Filthy as all get out. I'm not sure. Actually, I think it's probably rooted somewhere in the differences between sexes discussion. Some faff about women want a clean restroom and men are messy. Ideally, public restrooms would just be a series of enclosed, individual rooms that lock from the inside with no gender restriction. I've seen a few schools do this, and I'd be interested in hearing if it cuts down on facilities being damaged or assaults, things like that. Actually seeing that much more now is service stations and other places. Tell half the restrooms. Just like when one was men, the other female. Now they just have a men-woman sign on both doors. Building I'm in today is a government building where I'd say normally the staff is 90 men. Just has to common restrooms now. Solves the trans issues. If the restrooms are single room, single occupancy, I will ignore the signs completely and use whichever one I want and not give a fuck. If someone is already using the women's one, I'll just go and use the men's one. And I will not feel sorry about it if I come out and there's a dude waiting outside for it either. Where I live, there is a stupid law that all workplaces need to have both a men's and women's washroom, which is how you end up with construction sites with one normal porta potty and one pink porta potty. God forbid you just have to porta potties. Women can only poop sitting in a pink plastic outdoor shitter. One reason is that if they're already gendered, making them unisex right away can cause trouble. I went to a newly made unisex bathroom once and men were uncomfortably asking the women if it was okay if they, the men, used the urinals. The women were gracious enough to say yes and look away. It started as a result of temperance sentiment pushed by conservative religious groups and now continues because of anti-gay and anti-trans sentiment pushed by conservative religious groups. Like most disappointing, misguided, or downright hateful things in this world, blame religious folks. My church has recently complete removing the sex-specific restrooms and replaced them with single-occupancy restroom pods. Actually, more people can use the restrooms at any given time, which was the purpose of doing this. We do anticipate being sued though. In theory, it's so that a man won't lurk inside the lady's loo and pounce on her when she's at her most vulnerable ... which is of course utter nonsense. A man who is intent on such an act isn't going to be deterred by a mere sign. Perverts, that's why. 99% of people aren't creepy perverts who try to take advantage of a gender-neutral bathroom to assault people or take pictures, video recordings. But that one is why such measures are taken. Outdated building plumbing code. It doesn't matter. Other fixture counts are based on gender parity. The building owner put up neutral signage after occupancy though. All bathrooms should be gender neutral. Dads, worried about your daughter. Go in with her. Moms, worried about your son. Go in with him. There. Problem solved. Because they don't actually care about bathrooms or women's safety. They need something to be angry about, and trans people are the easiest to attack. If you've ever been to a concert outdoors, the porta potties don't care either, do the people that put them there or anybody else that has to use one. They are inside of homes. It boggles my mind to think we have unisex bathrooms at home, but people lose their minds when there's one on public. I don't understand why we have to call them male or female. I think we should just make them open to everyone and not separate them by gender. You have to be like 12 years old and a male who's never had to share a bathroom with a sister or mother if you have to ask this question. I wish I had saved that post pointing out that the bathrooms at home are unisex and also airplanes. What else, folks? You're not alone in this sentiment. In DC, we have a law that requires all single-occupancy bathrooms to be unisex. I can tell you from using the men's room a few times that our toilets are generally cleaner than men's LOL. Have you seen a men's restroom? Suddenly, the number of dudes whose weapons aim is off is fairly high. We should stop building separate bathrooms and only build big bathrooms with one big cabin for urinals. In CA, nearly every single occupancy bathroom has been made gender neutral and no one has a problem. Because some men are creeps and society doesn't want men going into bathrooms before or after women. Because women's public restrooms are disgusting, and us men should not have to be subjected to that. This was always my solution. Take down all signage. Single stall, lockable. DUN, done. I go into the opposite gender's single occupancy restroom because I'm a rebel like that. Because our anatomy is different and we are each gross in our own special way. Because IT looks like a man made out of toilet paper was murdered in there. Code requirements that there be both men's and women's restrooms. Basically, because grown-ass adults are still afraid of cooties. In California by law, A must be open to either sex. That's how it is in most of Europe. America is weird.